Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome back. I want to share with you right now another Shirogorov, and I've done a few Shirogorov videos over the past couple of years, but this is the very first time that I've had the opportunity to purchase and own one of the Custom Division knives. Now, it's not really talked about a hell of a lot, and in the very beginning, most people didn't really know, but there are two ways, basically, that you can get a Shirogorov. You can get the Shirogorovs that we all know, like the Model 95T, which is this one here, Model 95 Hati, the 111, so many other variations that we commonly see. Those are actually Midtech knives. That's what this is. And you guys know from the videos that I've made about this one, I love this knife. This is absolutely amazing. Great flipping action, incredibly smooth, very sharp, great steel. I mean, the whole thing is just a fantastic knife. But that is a Midtech. Now, these were priced around $650. I won't get into why the market price went up so drastically, but anyway, you're going to pay anywhere from $850 if you find a really nice guy, or it's a really beat up model, up to $1,900 for this exact knife. Now, I feel it's worth anything up to $1,200-$1,300. They're amazing knives. They're fantastic. Knowing, when you know the actual value, it makes it harder to spend that much more. But if you do, you're getting really a fantastic quality knife. These, however, are a lot more expensive. This is the Custom Division, so these are all true full custom knives. And you're going to see some of the differences here in a few minutes. Now, I don't have my original Hati that I had a year and a half ago. I did sell that one because I really ended up carrying my Model 95T a lot more often. And I've missed it ever since I sold it. And I just recently got the opportunity to own this. And when I saw it, I knew that I had to have it. Problem is, any of these seashell models, as some are calling them, because you kind of have that seashell pattern that's milled into the titanium, these are going anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500. And I went, I haven't even handled one of these yet. I know I'm going to love it. I don't know if I'm going to love it $2,000 worth. So what I did, just to make myself feel better, I put this up on the block to sell. It's actually getting shipped as soon as I finish off this video, just so I could offset the cost, so I wasn't as deep in the ass on this knife. So I feel okay with it. I've got basically $1,000 into it, and I'm okay with that. And I can tell you right now, when I opened the box, when I pulled this knife out, there is something so completely different. Now again, I can't compare it directly to this one because they're slightly different models, but I have owned the Hati. The Hati basically is a Model 95, but instead of having the titanium on both sides, it has carbon fiber, sculpted carbon fiber, milled carbon fiber on one side, and titanium on the other. So it's basically this side here, but smooth, and this side in this type of carbon fiber. Having owned that knife, having carried that knife often, having enjoyed it as much as I did, this is a world apart. Every surface is contoured. It feels completely different in the hand. It's a little bit thicker. It's got a little bit more weight to it. The smoothness is extraordinary. Now, my original Hati was on washers, and there are several different systems that Shirogorov has employed, both in their customs and in their Midtechs. They've done what they call plugs. If you actually speak with them at a show, they're going to refer to them as plugs, but they're the washers, which, if I recall, were Teflon washers. Maybe they were phosphor bronze washers. I truly don't remember now. I haven't had that knife in my hand for about a year. So anyway, they had washers at first. Then they went to standard single row bearings, more like an IKBS. Then they went into what they called their MRBS, the multi-row bearing system, which had just a shitload, like I think it was 45 bearings on each side of the pivot. Now they have a new system where it's just a tremendous amount of bearings. It's a ridiculous amount of bearings and different styles of bearings. This is the only seashell model that I currently know of. that has the MRBS. So far, from all the reports that I've seen, any of the Seashell Custom Division have a single row or double row bearing system and do not have the true MRBS, the new MRBS. This one does. So that makes this one a little bit more special in the fact that it's a little bit smoother. Now, I want to be clear, it is not a night and day difference between any of the bearing variations. It's not like you're going to pick up one, then pick up the other and go, holy shit, why would I ever buy the other one? There really isn't a tremendous difference. There is a little bit of difference in the smoothness. But I'll be honest with you, even the washer system, which was on my original Hati, that thing flipped like crazy. It was lightning fast, had an incredible detent. You know, it wouldn't drop under its own weight and just simply close. Now you see that one, I have to kind of give it a little bit of a tug. Give it a little bit of a tug, please. Just a little bit to get it to drop into place. And that's their standard bearings. With this one, I actually have to move my thumb out of the way because it really wants to take my thumb off. Yeah, see, I'm actually having to baby it here. Let's see if I could do it without chopping my thumb off. Whoa! Yeah. And then one little bump down. So it's really hard to display on camera, but the way this opens is different. This is still incredible. You see it's very, very fast. But it's more about how this one feels, how fluid it is. Even if you just barely touch that flipper tab, it wants to rock it open. I'm trying to apply as little pressure as possible so that you can see it takes nothing to light switch this open. All right, let's get to some of the differences. On the left, you'll see this actually plays, it feels in the hand a little bit thicker, even though it really isn't. If there's any thickness difference, it's a minuscule difference. You see everything here, this is a flat-sided scale with a little bit of contouring on the edges. This is a milled scale. It's got a little bit of a swell in the middle, and it's really, really contoured, chamfered on the edges. So it feels different in the hand. Another thing that I really like is the added jimping to the top side of the blade. Now you see on the spine here, it's nice and smooth. I've never had a complaint about it. This is not really what I would consider a hard use knife, so I'm not really too worried about not having jimping on it. But I actually do like this touch, and it is really fine, well done jimping. It is expertly done. Another thing that I love here is the finish work. You actually have a three-tone blade. You've got that beautiful blasted primary bevel. Then you get up to the spine, which has a beautiful satin finish. The camera wants to focus on other objects. And then you get to the flats, and they're full mirror polished. Now here's the thing. This is S90 steel. S90V does not like to be polished. This is quite a tremendous feat. I have actually requested S90 with certain makers, and when they said, well, we prefer to do, very fine satin or, a really nice polish, so I won't use S90 because it doesn't like that process. These guys nailed it. It is stupid sharp. S90V steel, of course, is going to give you incredible edge retention, so it's not going to have to be stropped as often as like S35VN. It's not going to have to be sharpened anywhere nearly as often. There is their incredible sculpted clip. And that's something Shirogorov has really been well known for and very respected for. Because when you think about it, before you start paying the asinine, jacked up prices that are out there, even my Hati had the exact same clip. It had this clip, and that was a $550 knife. Had the exact same sculpted tie clip on it. And I got to tell you, that was impressive for the money that was being spent. I love their custom hardware, always have. Very nicely done. Very clean. Now on this, you'll notice, unlike... Well, you know what? I was thinking of my old Hati. My Hati had the the bear head logo on the blade. Here it has it up on the handle. And I've got a little bit of my cleaning cloth in there. I apologize, and I can't get it out. It's snagged in there a little bit, so I apologize for that. You see the incredible work in the carbon fiber. They use a really nice tight weave carbon fiber, then do this incredible milling. And it gives it a wonderful texture. It's very easy to grip and hold on to. You see all the extra milled out areas that have been done. There is not an angle of this knife that's boring, and there's not an angle of this knife, an area that you can look at that hasn't been touched. The backspacer is incredible. Nice gear style backspacer, very slightly raised. It's got a little area there for a little opening for a lanyard. I haven't tried putting one in, but I might do it. There is the steel lock bar insert. They do also have a built-in over travel, so you can't overextend the titanium lock bar. Perfectly centered. Everything is finished perfectly. This raises the bar for me. When I look at this knife, I can never say that I dislike or have any disdain at all for a standard Shirogorov. But I mean, even as early as late as a week ago, I was carrying that knife, and I friggin' loved the shit out of it. But there's something tremendously different about the custom division. So if you have the ability and you have the finances that will allow you to make that leap, I would say do it. It is absolutely worth it. It's every bit as much as looking at a standard production Microtech. Okay, let's take the DOC for an example. And I have videos on both, my old production DOC and my Marfione Custom. There is a tremendous difference from having the standard production knife to the hand-built Marfione. Huge difference. Every part of that knife is going to be different. And that really is the difference here. Now, does that mean that this isn't fantastic? Oh, hell no. I had actually considered just keeping it, saying screw it, and have another one. But I'll be honest with you. Once this arrived, it validated my initial thought of selling my tea. This is also one of those knives that's so well done. I mean, it's very simple, but so well done and fits every single need, want, and desire that I have, that I think it's going to replace a lot of the knives in my collection. I think there are going to be quite a few that are not going to be carried because I now have this. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, since I did offset the cost by selling my other one, and I have so much less invested in this, it makes it easier for me to just make this an EDC. And you guys know I will always carry every knife I own. I'm not a hard user. I don't do anything outdoors, out in the woods, any of that weird shit. Weird to me, could be normal to you. I'm a very suburban kind of dude. But when I come across shit that I do need to use a knife for, I'm going to use anything that's in my pocket. I can carry this guilt-free. Now, if I had truly the full 2,000 plus into it, yeah, that does change things a little bit. It makes it a little bit tougher. I'd still carry it, but probably not as likely to carry it on a day where I go, oh, I'm going here to do that, and I might need to use my knife quite a bit. Let me carry something I got maybe $500 or $1,000 invested in instead of $2,000, $2,500. This is going to see a lot of carry. I absolutely love everything about it. What just sucks is they're so friggin' hard to get. There's only one source for them. Don't even ask me, because I'm not going to comment. Those of you that know me know where I'm going with that. So you got to go secondary market, because there are people that you want to put money in their pocket and people that you don't. There are going to be guys out there that are going to command a shitload of money because they've got it and nobody else does. They've got it in their collection. It's been sitting there. They've been waiting for that day. And their true grail just popped up. Now they're going to offer one of these for sale. You're going to take it or leave it. That's up to you. I will tell you this. No matter how you have to justify it to yourself, I will tell you that it's probably one of the finest quality knives I've ever held. You guys have seen my collection, video by video. You've also seen the knives I've had the opportunity to play with for Guest Blade that I don't own. $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $8,000 knives. And I can tell you that this is one of the absolute finest knives that I've ever had in my hands. And I feel so fortunate to have been able to purchase this. I also love the finish on here. It's a really cool DLC. Now here's the weird thing. It's almost like a graphite color. And what I mean by that is it's not true black. It looks black in 90% of the light. Then in some light you start seeing more of a charcoal effect. And I noticed when I was doing my photography on this under fluorescent lighting, it picked up some blues. And I don't know what it's going to show here in the video. But when I looked at all my images, they had a blue cast all through the titanium side. I thought that was really interesting. There is something about the way that it feels, and I can't put my finger on it. It's almost like it has a tactility to it. I don't want to say chalk-like because that's going to give you the wrong sense, but there's something almost grippy about it. And I thought it was just here, so I thought it was just the millwork. And then I ran my fingers up here and realized it has that same type of feel to it, that same type of texture. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that is. I don't know how they achieve that. But what I can tell you is I am thoroughly amazed. I love holding it. I love feeling it in my hand. I love flipping it. I love playing with it. Oh, by the way, there's the custom division markings inside of the frame. There is nothing about this knife that I would change. Absolutely nothing. Even listen to how it closes. Listen. You hear that? Listen to it one more time. Now listen to this one. You get that tink. And this sounds like you're closing the door on a Mercedes. See, that's what I'm saying. There's something so different. And there are intangible differences between these two knives. They're both fantastic. They're both great to carry. They both flip like they're insane. But this one just reaches around and tickles you behind the balls a little bit more than this one. And that's about the best way I can put it. So, listen, if you're on the fence, you can afford to go either way, go for a custom division if you can get one. Get that hand-built custom. If you can't afford to do that, and this is the only thing presented to you, oh my God, man, that's not like it's a bad choice. You can't go wrong with almost any Shirogorov. But oh man, the search is going to be on for me. I'm going to keep looking and keep trying to buy more. I think it's going to be like my Norseman phase. You guys know once I bought my first Grimsmo Norseman, I've gone nuts. I bought 5 in the past 6 months. And I'm still on the lookout for the right ones. So I think this might be another one, albeit a much more expensive one to collect. You know, it's not like I'm going to be able to buy 2, 3, 4 of these a month. So it's got to be a little bit more spaced out than that. But yeah. I'm truly amazed, and I feel fortunate to own it. And I'd love to hear any stories that you guys have about the ones that you own or ones that you have encountered. Maybe you've held at a show. And share your experiences and let other people know, yeah, there's a huge difference in almost everything. In the way that they're crafted, the way that they're built, the way that they're the silky smooth action. It's not night and day, but it's damn close to it. All right, that's it for me. I'm just going to keep on rambling at this point. I'm going to go. I will see you guys on the next video.